A firefighter dies heroically, but his afterlife isn't a cakewalk. He relives painful memories to prove his innocence. A firefighter named Hong jumps off of a massive flaming building in the middle of Korea's population hub in an attempt to save the life of a bystander. He falls rapidly to the earth without hitting the safety cushion as the intense heat burns his robe. Amazingly, the man is able to awaken after saving the young girl from certain death, even though his entire life appears to be flashing before his eyes. He stands up and runs to the girl's family to see if the victim is wounded, but despite his best efforts, no one seems to be listening. Out of nowhere, he hears someone screaming his name, and in the middle of the confusion, he sees two people in suits grinning at him. While attempting to get them to move away from the falling debris, Hong discovers that the firefighters are attempting to save a man who strikingly resembles the main character. The woman, Chun, informs Hong that the man was a model citizen before he passed away and that they are here to support him during the 7 trials of judgment. Mac, the other guardian, tells him they have to head straight to the trials gates, where their employer is waiting for them. Hong finds it difficult to process all of this knowledge and slowly turns to leave, watching as his friends lament over his lifeless body. He cries that he must not pass away at this moment because he needs to see his mother, but his body starts to levitate in the air in the direction of the enormous gateway. Hong's outbursts about seeing his mother touch the guardians, and they are also pleased by his enduring love for his parents after their passing. They enter a different dimension where thousands of people are making their way to the gates of judgment. There, Hong meets Rim, the guardian leader who has assisted 47 souls in reincarnating over the past century. The leader congratulates Hong on being a paragon, but the man turns away and says he isn't a good person at all. After passing through the gates of judgment, they are teleported to the Mountain of Murder, a terrifying place covered in lava. When Mac realizes where they are, he is outraged and asks Hong if he has ever killed someone. However, the man disputes ever having committed such a heinous act. Rim says that the trials, which might be the reason they're here, also judge those who indirectly caused someone's death through inaction. After arriving at a stadium, Hong sees enormous underground doors open to show a massive lava hole. People who get punished make a valiant effort to escape, but they are never able to escape the sea of fire. To start the trial, the prosecutors charged Hong with failing to save one of his co-workers when he had the opportunity, which ultimately resulted in the man's demise. They insist that in order to make up for his failure to save his companion, Hong must endure 5 years of suffering inside a lava pit. In an effort to support the man, Rim calls for a more thorough investigation into the incident's actual events. After realizing the situation was hopeless, Hong's colleague advised him to go and save the other civilians. It appears that Hong did make a valiant attempt to save his comrade at the site, but they were unable to lift the stone that encased the firefighter. Hong's choice that evening allowed him to save 8 lives. Rim contends that evaluating the man's choice to part ways with his friend should take into account his bravery. After witnessing the man's selfless actions in assisting others, the court chooses to clear him of all accusations and permit him to continue to the next trial. Even though Hong prevailed in the initial hearing, the reminder of his colleague's death still makes him very sad. He doesn't think of himself as a paragon, therefore, he demands to know why the Guardians are aiding him. Given that the Guardians struck a pact with Yomura, the King of Hell, it appears that they have ulterior motives. After reaching the Trial of Indolence, where Chun explains all the work that Hong has done, the 3 are able to help 49 dead souls go through the trials and reincarnate within the century. The man has never been lazy in his life and has always helped others, no matter where they were. This even entails saving a cranky cat on the edge of a building and smashing the owner's Lamborghini with his head, or toppling a beehive and painfully stinging his entire team. Hong's contributions touched the judge so much that she commanded the prosecutors to erect a statue in the Paragon's honor right away. But Hong said that the man just wanted to live his life to the fullest because of money when she asked why. After hearing the man's response, the judge swiftly modifies her decision and orders the prosecution to send Hong to the punishment chamber, where a massive machine hunts down and crushes the bones of all those guilty of carelessness and feeds them to the fish. Hong worked so hard to get money because he wanted to support his sick mother and his brother's desire to attend law school. The Guardians do everything in their power to assist their defendant, and they implore their goddess to have a closer look at the man's life. Because Hong put in so much work, he frequently ignored his own health. As a result, his desire for wealth is not the result of selfishness. Their goddess discovers the man's genuine intentions and concludes that Hong is innocent because all he wanted was to support his family. As they quickly board the boat that would take them to the next location, the group discovers they are being pursued by several monsters before they can celebrate. The group draws their weapons and makes every effort to repel the beasts. Many of the adversaries are defeated by being chopped to pieces, but eventually the captain is knocked off course and barely survives. Mac must defend the ship by himself in order to give his leader time to heal. Mac hits a big stone pillar at the very last second, causing the boulders to collapse and ultimately sparing them from the monster's pursuit. The man says that the only reason this is possible is when one of Hong's family members passed away and turned into a spiteful ghost. Rim makes the decision to see Hong's family in order to know the truth about what transpired and to deter other monsters from chasing them in the future. The mother is visibly still alive when he visits Hong's house, which indicates that the brother Su was the one who passed away and became a vengeful ghost. The protector is just behind the evil aura as it tries to flee. The ghost dodges. Rims blows from behind as he tries to stop it by capturing it with his weapon. When the two finally clash and the Guardian is knocked away, the spirit vanishes and Rim begins to search feverishly for his target. After following the trail to a military base, the Guardian hears a soldier discussing Su and calling him a deserter. Even more odd is the fact that it's obvious that the captain and one of his comrades are concealing something. Rim poses as an army colonel and starts interrogating the captain regarding Su's claim that he killed the man. It comes as no surprise that the captain starts using terror to blackmail the Guardian, further proving his guilt for the brother's demise. Conversely, Hong finds himself under investigation by their goddess of deception and charged with creating multiple fraudulent wills and testaments for his associate, which he was unable to preserve beforehand. He gave these notes to the man's daughter while posing as the girl's father, deceiving her. Their goddess gives the man the command to tie him up right away and gets ready to chop off his tongue as a form of punishment. Fortunately, Rim uses his team's telepathy to contact them and defend Hong's behavior. It turns out that he also composed fake letters to his mother in which he exaggerated the quality of his life and his increased fortune. After realizing that Hong did all of this to give others a reason to live, the deity forgives the man's crimes because his intentions were never to harm. Rim contends that these are all attempts to comfort the people that he cares about, giving them hope that reality can't offer and allowing them to live. After the trial, Rim tells Hong that his family is doing well and lies to him about it. However, he soon reveals to the team the truth about Hong's brother. Rim travels back in time to discover the true events of the night of Su's death and discovers that his friend Dong accidentally shot the man after turning off the safety. Dong immediately contacted their captain, and rather than attempting to assist the dying man, the soldier chose to bury Su and conceal the evidence in order to avoid having his career tarnished. When Rim sees Su's body, he is shocked to know that the man is still alive, which makes him recall his father's burial in the past. Simultaneously, Hong Kong has descended into a place of unjust injustice where individuals are imprisoned for an extended period of time as a punishment for their failure to assist others. Fortunately, Hong can go on to the next place without fear of judgment because he works as a firefighter. It's discovered that, with the exception of their commander Rim, all of the Guardian's memories have been obliterated during the cable car voyage. Mac unintentionally tells Hong that his brother is, in reality, the vengeful spirit while attempting to dissuade his buddy from disclosing any more information about their restrictions. When the man realizes the truth, his unstable mental state causes the entire realm to tremble and the cable car to shatter, almost lowering his guardians below. At the 11th hour, though, Hong manages to gather himself and volunteers to support his teammates. After a while, the three find themselves in the hell of betrayal, where a stunning goddess judges those who have betrayed their loved ones by trapping them in a mirror and damaging the victims. As a result of his lifetime of virtue and lack of betrayal, Hong was able to securely leave this place and move on. The resentful ghost is simultaneously trying to assassinate one of the soldiers who buried Rim alive in a bar, where Rim is able to locate him. The Guardian immediately pursues Su, and the two of them engage in a never-ending aerial battle as they soar through the city. Rim eventually captures the spirit by putting up a trap and tying him to the building with a magical rope. The Guardian warns the ghost that if he doesn't forgive his murderers, he won't be able to reincarnate and will instead be annihilated forever. However, this only made Su think of how his greatest friends had abandoned him and buried him alive, which made him scream in wrath and release a huge shockwave. Conversely, Dong has chosen to reveal the whereabouts of the body to Su's mother after consuming copious amounts of alcohol, as he is no longer able to handle the guilt. Su observes everything from behind his mother, and when the woman opens the map, she eventually finds the whereabouts of his youngest son. The angry ghost visits Rim and informs him that, upon witnessing the soldier's culpability and the way the mother was given the location of the body, he has chosen to pardon Dong. Su pleads with the Guardian to pretend to be a medium so that he might speak with Dong one more time, promising to endure the tribulations that follow. By means of the soldier, the spirit communicates with him, granting him forgiveness and instructing him to stop crying over old grievances. While all of this is going on, Hong has arrived at the Violent Inferno and has noticed a huge hole that they must jump into to go to the trials. The guy tumbles into the enormous gap and hits a huge boulder, but Mac manages to grab his partner and land next to Hong. However, Hong accidentally slides in their direction and topples them, sending them plummeting back down the pit. While Mac is running towards the two, Hong manages to grab the girl and attempts to save her from the crash, just like he did before he passed away. After reaching the bottom, their fall is unexpectedly abruptly stopped. Prosecutors claim that Hong beat up his brother during their high school years and the violent trial is underway. Hong never asked for forgiveness after the fight since he fled his family the very next day and hasn't been back since. This behavior was made all the more heinous because the little child was malnourished as a result of how impoverished the family was at the time. The man is immediately found guilty by the judge of attacking his own family, and his punishment is to be thrown into a pit where stones are sometimes thrown. Chun promptly requests that the judge postpone the conviction and consider both the current trial and the ultimate one because they are closely related, realizing that Hong is about to be sentenced. This play is extremely dangerous since, in the event that Hong is found guilty at the next trial, the Guardians would have to give up their abilities in the hereafter. Su woke up and demanded to know what Hong was doing after witnessing his brother kneeling before his mother, but the Guardians, regrettably, soon discovered the truth about what had actually transpired that night of the battle. They discovered that the youngster was attempting to kill his own mother with a pillow. When Hong finally dropped the pillow and started violently striking the small child out of frustration, Su attempted to stop his brother right away. Hong's family was quite impoverished and his mother was very sick, so it turns out that he felt pretty bleak at the time. He thought there was nothing else that could relieve their agony and save their lives. This is also the reason he fled his house and never went back to live with his family after feeling so terrible about himself. The Guardians lose hope after hearing this since they understand they will not be able to overcome the hardships at this point, particularly in the ultimate pit of filial impiety. In the meantime, Rim is attempting to draw Su closer to his body so that the spirit can at last start the process of reincarnation. Su is taken aback to find his mother in the military camp where she is pleading with the troops to bring her son's body. As the army captain notices this, he charges over to the woman, tearing her placards to bits and pushing her to the ground, whereupon she passes out from exhaustion. Su becomes enraged and reverts to his former behavior as an angry ghost as soon as he sees his killer assaulting his mother. He manages to escape his bindings and throws the Guardian away with great force. Su's rage grows to such an extent that he transforms into a massive tornado, engulfing all of the nearby soldiers and creating a portal to the afterlife itself. Rim is trying desperately to keep everyone from dying while the enraged spirit throws things around and causes extreme pandemonium. By using the portal, Mac is able to charge into the living world and fling himself at Su, smashing the massive statue and stunning the opponent. Rim seizes the opportunity and charges in as well, grabbing Su with a magical rope and ultimately stopping the rampage. In the meantime, King Yomra himself chooses to preside over Hong's trial from the opposite end. In such a desperate moment, their god accuses the man of trying to kill his own mother and abusing his sibling. The king also discloses that Hong's mother knew all along that her son was trying to kill her, but she stayed quiet and carried the whole tragedy inside her heart, which only serves to compound the man's guilt. Their god comes to the conclusion that because Hong attempted to do the worst thing imaginable, kill the person who gave him life, he will suffer eternal punishment in this inferno. The voice starts speaking to Hong's mother, and all of a sudden, the realm starts to tremble. It turns out that Rim used his power to enable Su to talk to his mother in a dream, and the son apologizes for his brother. Su informs the woman that, since that night, Hong has worked tirelessly for 15 years to provide for them because he feels bad about what he did. Remarkably, the mother admits that she has long since forgiven her son and makes amends to herself for not being able to support her kids. Hong bursts into tears upon hearing this, and their familial display touches the king. Their god determines that he can no longer hold Hong accountable for his misdeeds because the victim pardoned him a long time ago, enabling the man to be reborn. Knowing this, Hong bows to Chun and thanks the Guardians for guiding him on his journey before vanishing into the dazzling lights. Returning to the world of the living, Rim has chosen to bring Su with them as their 49th reincarnation, hoping to fulfill their agreement with the monarch and earn their own rebirth. In front of many demons, the gang enters the pit of filial impiety and charges the adversaries in an attempt to clear a path for the King of Hell himself. What are your thoughts on this film, guys? Tell me in the comments section below. Furthermore, please like and subscribe if you enjoy my video. I'll see you guys again soon in the next video.